Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave, coming at you from good old Dubai today as we live currently under Sharia law. Fun times, actually. The city is fucking gorgeous and absolutely epic. Seriously, it is maybe one of the best cities I've ever visited in my life. And actually, I can just show you a quick little snippet of where we're at right now. It's a good time, I can say that. If you haven't been to Dubai, definitely check it out. We don't really get exposed to too much of this in the Western world, and it's absolutely just gorgeous, just mind-blowing everywhere you go. Anyways, with that said, I'll put the camera back on old squiggly spaghetti. Can't fucking speak. Hair over here, and let's get into it right now. So while I am over here, obviously the quality is going to be a little bit shittier, and all that good stuff. And video is probably gonna be a little more on the shorter side, but we will get through it. We'll get through it together. So I want to follow up on yesterday's shorts that I've been putting up, because those have actually been a really good way for me to kind of keep in touch, and I'll definitely continue that tradition. But first things first, let's get on with the Krown chain application, as I want to focus on a few things today. That's going to be with the long term, actually. Anyways, what do we see over here? Fear and Greed Index really starting to get up there at about a 79 read, as you would expect. Bitcoin, really spending some time and even closing above 60,000 bucks. So the long-term condition for continuation here has been fulfilled, and I would be, well, looking for volatility expansion alongside trend continuation, essentially. Bitcoin dominance continue to head up as well, of which I'd expect that to head up a shit ton more over the next few months here, probably well above 50 actually. Will be pullbacks along the way, as there will be pullbacks in Bitcoin too, obviously. But other than that, what else can we check out while we're here? Yeah, we do see actually some altcoins having some good days there. Stacks, what the fuck, Zcash? I haven't seen Zcash in a long time. Shiba, Doggy Coin, so all the lovely dog coins there, great. Polygon, Icon, Unos, Unos. Yes, my Unos is feeling good. And Ren BTC actually looking good. Into the market data tab we go. I do want to check the global leverage ratio and the global open interest levels over here. We're getting very, very high. So while I do suspect that Bitcoin probably extends this run a little bit more, as we've been speaking about, maybe even fulfills our higher term time frame target right now of about 68 to 69,000 bucks before greater pullback. We still have to be aware that the daily has actually not pulled back and given us a higher low just yet. Again, all higher term timeframes have done that actually. It's just the daily that we want to see fulfill that. So at some point, we will probably see a nasty washing out of this. But for now, well, I suspect as we get into it, I am still, I guess, cautiously looking to the upside before a general pullback. Anyways, leverage ratio for reference is just about at those same levels that we saw from our last actually major bear trap, major bull trap, and our last couple highs as well, when we can see that the open interest rate, or sorry, just the open interest is literally higher than what we saw on September 7th. So this market is over leveraged, obviously. Everyone's hitting the 100x buttons. Everyone's trying to buy the breakouts. And just, as a general side during these times, when you do get into these areas where everyone's kind of looking at the same thing and interpreting the same sort of breakout, obviously, well, what typically happens, breakout traders get fucked, right? Breakout traders, in my experience, are some of the most interesting and, well, not so compelling to myself. Anyways, so kind of what would I be expecting? Like, very likely a continuation of this run here, and then just drop it back down, fuck them all, and, run the stops, whether it be 59,000 bucks or 55,000 bucks. I don't have a strong proclivity towards either one of those. But at some point, I would be looking for a pretty nasty pullback, and a lot of those over-leveraged people are very likely going to be washed out. Of course, the leverage goes both ways, and a lot of this market is leveraged to the short side as well. So I suspect that, first things first, liquidate the shorts, then liquidate the longs, and continue on with the macro trend, of course. Anyways, with that said, I want to talk about something very interesting today. Or should I talk about this first? Yeah, let's talk about this first. Okay, yes, we filled the condition for the second week in a row of closing above the top side Trona band, so volatility expanding alongside trend continuation, and I'm generally still looking towards these north side targets based off the weekly higher term time frame in line with the the one spot 618 Fibonacci extension, and also the head and shoulders failure measure move over here as well. I mean, if you want to look at this as a cup and handle, sure, yeah, fucking works over there as well. So 69,000 bucks on the cards, and I would be cognizant of this area right here at the one spot 414. That's just under 64,000 bucks, and I would be aware that that very likely does produce a short or medium term pullback. And if we were to reverse on the daily there, and very likely again set in a higher low on the daily first and foremost, or at least that would be my bias going into it. It depends how high we get on first. So, if Bitcoin gets to 64, I'm probably looking for a pullback probably down to like at least 59, maybe 55. If we get up to 69, I'm probably only looking for a pullback down to like 60,000 bucks, for example. So I do want to be, open-minded in that regard. And keep in mind, Bitcoin, when playing out these bigger numbers, even though the general direction is up here, the downside moves will be fucking unforgiving. So with that in mind, I want to bring up some over here. Or should I do this today? I'm going to save that for a different day. Mr. Kevin, I'm going to share that tomorrow, sir. But an absolutely epic indicator he's come up with. So I want to give him a bit of a spotlight there. And with that in mind, we can go into Bitcoin's shorter term time frame analysis, which I think I have over here. So yesterday I put out a shorts video, both for the weekly closure and also the short term timeframes. The funny thing about the short term short update actually is that we hit both of the targets, which is kind of funny. Anyway, so what were we saying yesterday? So we said that if Bitcoin breaks below about 60,300, or actually, I think it was like 60,900. Yeah, 60,900. So way back on over here, I'd be looking for a general move back down somewhere around just below 59. Pretty much hit that, pretty much actually just to the T and bounced off of it. Doesn't always have to, work out like this. This one just happened to do so because, well, Bitcoin equals bullish right now. And what was the condition on the other side? Well, if we break back above on an hourly closure, I believe it was, 61.7 or 61.8, I'd be looking for a target somewhere around just above, I think, 63.5. That was also in line right on over here with the one spot 414. Yeah, it's, actually 63.5 to 64,000 bucks. Anywhere around there is kind of what I'm looking for on this. I am still, essentially of that opinion right here, and we should actually bring up, I forgot to do this over here, we should actually bring up some momentum oscillators just to double check and see if they're on the same page as well. Now, of course, being that it is a Monday, we should be looking at CME, although spot price actually looking really good on that one. CME showing a little bit of a different picture actually. So this is what I wanted to highlight on this video right here. Just as a general sort of rule, on Monday I roll with CME indicators over spot. So you'll notice right here 4-hour Stokes are coming down in the critical zone. As long as we're closing below 62,950, spot price action, completely different picture actually here. So which one wins out? Well, typically CME will win out 8 out of 10 times from my analysis. And in this case right here, we have a completely different read actually. 4-hour Stokes are up as long as above 60,800. So we'll see how this goes on. I am open-minded, of course. It is an 80% or so work with that. But in this case, I would say that does suggest we probably range a little bit more around this $60,000 to $62,000 region for the time being. Anyways, going over the other time frames, I just want to see where the hourly is at right now. Hourly is flippy floppy, but down below 60,800 or so. So lower term time frames do seem to be in a bit of concert with each other. Bi hourly is doing what? Yep, down as well, below 62,700. And 12-hour, what are we looking like? Freshly up actually, again in the critical zone here, but 62,000 bucks going to be the magical number on that one. Daily is going to show 62,500 right here. And by the way, the weekly just freshly crossed up as we did fulfill our conditions coming into the weekly closure on Friday. And of course, spot price action, pretty much the same thing as well. So that does look good. Again, all higher term timeframes are bullish here. The question is, do we pull back first or do we continue first? And I suppose I'm still kind of looking for a bit of short-term sideways here between about 60,000 base and 62,500 or so, and then probably does gun for the upside targets first. Momentum also to say short-term sideways and down, however, probably back down to this level right here if I had to guess, something like that. And sets in a higher low, I guess that'd be more like 60,600. Anyways, what would invalidate this on the short term? Actually, yesterday's spike low, that one that got right down below 59,000 bucks. If Bitcoin does start to come back down there, probably do get another anemic bounce, but I don't think that thing's going to double bottom there or anything like that. I would be looking for Bitcoin to come down a little bit more significantly towards about 57.5. That's the next area that I be a little bit more cognizant of. And personally speaking, I do think that Bitcoin would just gun after 54.5 to 55,000 bucks instead of that daily higher low, if that area were to be violated, of course. So until that happens, again, I'm just looking short-term sideways and up here, and we can actually come up with a little bit of a measure move off of this, seeing that it is a nice rectangular consolidation. So these are actually like pretty dependable formations in traditional markets for what it's worth. And guess where that's pointed? Just to right around about $64,000. So very much in line with this target over here, give or take a few $100. That's completely fine. And we're dealing with, a weekly versus like a 4 hour. So it's going to naturally be slightly different there. Actually, if we were to do it perfectly, then yeah, it'd be right around there. Okay, so beautiful. Anyways, what else can we look at while we're here? Should we go over a little bit of Ethereum, or should we make this a nice and short and sweet video? Well, let's see what other momentum oscillators are saying right now. Yeah, 4-hour BBWP is coming off the low, so we very likely are looking for a move. I wouldn't say early this morning, probably either late Monday or early Tuesday is what I'd guess, because this is probably due to the moving average on this. I'm probably looking for this to level out a little bit more. I actually put a lot more weight on the moving average than I do the actual BBWP read itself. You'll notice that the slope change on the moving average is what typically does get the actual moves themselves. And I suspect that CME is mostly the same over here too. Let's go to the daily. Yeah, very interesting right there. Okay, we'll take that off for a second, and all well and good. So as we go down to the hourly, actually, what does it say over here? Yeah, more or less short-term sideways for the time being. CME is showing a little bit more short-term downside. Really wouldn't be asking too much to get back down to that $6,000 base, but as we looked at earlier, kind of a bouncy area, anyways. So, what does that imply? Well, more of the same, I suppose. Again, I do favor trend over everything else, so I'm always just going to be biased towards the upside based off of that in this case. It doesn't mean that, Bitcoin can't come down. That's why we have invalidation points, obviously. And, well, you can always be wrong about shit as well. So with that in mind, this is still looking, I suppose, good, and this is really the time to be paying attention to the higher term timeframes over these shorter term timeframes. Just because, remember, not just the weekly closed above the topside Toronto band here, the 5-day did as well, and it didn't just happen on spot price action. It actually happened first on CME right here. CME's had 1, 2, 3, 5 days in a row above the topside, and the weekly just got obviously had it on Friday. I think the 5 days actually closing a couple days from now, so not too much of an interest right there, but with that in mind, I really wouldn't be looking for, again, that generalized daily pullback into very likely a higher low, somewhere around 55, let's call it, unless if this condition is met realistically on the 5-day for CME, and that would be a 5-day closure below. Let's call it basically the topside Toronto band, anywhere below about $59,000 should do it. So until that happens, generally just looking up and away, I suppose. Again, it really wouldn't take too much to get a pullback from here, but I suspect I am looking first for a bit of a continuation to the upside, and then the pullback very likely to come. Got to get everyone super excited first, as the market is just starting to get into these crazier zones once again for the Fear and Greed Index. And then the fun begins, as it always does. So I think I will leave off the video there. I'll save some fun stuff for tomorrow. We can talk about potential end of cycle targets, actually, just because there's yet again another way to kind of derive these things, which is actually, funnily enough, confluent, as it typically is with a lot of our prior ones. But I just want to show another angle that we kind of come at it with. So with that in mind, I want to wish you well. I want to wish you the best. I'm going to be signing off now. Take care, and see you hopefully soon.